Today I want to share with you our family recipe for the ladyfinger cake, the no-bake cake that is super easy to make, that is a favorite for some people in my family, but it surely wasn't my favorite cake, and I'll share with you why. So we have this ladyfinger cake that is easy to make, it is quick to make, it has a really good taste, and it looks heavenly delicious at the first sight. Yet I hated it. Why? There is a simple answer: raw eggs. Raw yolks in the cake. So again, one family member asked me to make it, and I couldn't say no, but I decided to get along with this cake and do something about these raw eggs, and it was a success. From the ingredients we will use 8 eggs, 200 grams of chocolate, 250 grams of powdered sugar, 250 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of rum, 3 packages of ladyfingers, half liter of milk for soaking, and 2 tablespoons of rum for the aroma. For the decoration, I used 2.5 deciliters of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of powdered milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Add 2 tablespoons of rum in the milk for soaking the ladyfingers. Soak each ladyfinger for a few seconds and then line them in a baking dish. I use a round baking tray of 28 centimeters in diameter. Where you can't fit the whole ladyfinger, measure it to fit and cut the rest. I had some thin space on the sides. This was easy to close with halves of ladyfingers cut in length. The rest of the tiny holes you can fill with small pieces. This way you will have a nice cake base without any holes. I did it so that I put one on the cake bottom and cut off the leftover part, so my cake fence wouldn't be too high. This first ladyfinger will be your measuring stick for all the rest. This way the whole cake will have an even height for its little decorative fence. These ladyfingers for the fence should be also soaked in the milk as well as we did with the ones for the cake bottom. The sugar-coated side should be turned facing the rim of the baking tray. At first, this fencing could be a little bit challenging. The ladyfingers can collapse, so make sure that you are holding in place the last one while adding the new one. As you will have more and more fan sticks, it will get easier, since they will stick together and actually stay in place. After you are done with all the fencing, you can leave them just as they are, or as I did, with a little bit more effort, you can make the cake look even nicer. I like it better when the ladyfingers are a little bit slashed. Surely, it is easier to manipulate with them while the cake rim is facing you, so turn that rim a few times and don't forget to hold in place that fence so it won't collapse. When I made the cake base and the fence, the baking tray was ready to sit in the fridge. Next, I'm going to make the filling for the cake. From the 250 grams of sugar, that is 16 tablespoons, measure 8 for the egg whites, 4 for the yolks and 4 for the butter. Now, if you decide on using fresh eggs in your cake, feel free to add the whole amount of the sugar to the butter, or half to the butter and half to the egg whites, but if you don't want fresh eggs in your cake, follow me. Beat the butter with a full tablespoon of sugar. No matter how you prepare the filling, either with fresh or processed eggs, it is still very important that you beat the butter with the sugar until light and airy. Separate the whites in one deeper bowl, and if you are processing the yolks, immediately put them in the pan in which you are going to steam cook them. While preparing the yolks, keep the whites in the fridge. Add the 4 tablespoons of sugar to the yolks and stir constantly. When steam cooking the yolks, make sure that your bowl in which you are cooking is covering the opening of the pan and that your water is slowly simmering. At first, the yolks are going to be runny. But keep on, they will eventually thicken and change the color to lighter and become kind of fluffy. Before adding the chocolate, we are going to melt it. You can melt it either in a hot bath on low temperature in the oven or like this on the stove on low heat, constantly watching over it not to burn it. While I wait for the chocolate to melt completely, I am adding the butter to the prepared yolks. Use a mixer to combine it all. Once it is well mixed together, it's time to add the melted chocolate. This as well we can do with a mixer. Finally, add 2 tablespoons of rum to the chocolate filling. This is going to sparkle up the aroma. For the filling, we still need to make the snow from the egg whites. I always add a pinch of salt to the whites. It makes the beating easier and quicker, and it will enhance the aroma. Once you get medium peaks in the snow, add the powdered sugar, tablespoon by tablespoon. Beat until stiff. The filling is almost done. Now we only need to merge the chocolate part and the snow. Fold in the snow carefully in the chocolate cream, little by little, stirring only in one direction. It should remain airy and it must not fall, so keep an eye on stirring and not to overdo it. The filling is finally done and we can pour it in the ladyfinger lined baking tray. Even it nicely and leave it in the freezer to harden overnight. For decorating, beat the heavy cream with some vanilla. Add a tablespoon of powdered milk as well. The cakes settle overnight and it is easy to take off the rim as well to transfer it to the serving tray. I choose a star tip for decorating with the heavy cream. If you enjoyed this recipe, hit the like button for me, share it with your friends, and if you are new here, subscribe with the bell and never miss any of my simply delicious recipes.